Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about 10 things that I only own one of. And in the past few years, minimalism has really had a tremendous impact on my life in helping me to understand what things I need and what perhaps I don't, or areas of my life where I can get away with just living with less and living with what I need. And that really has helped me declutter and reduce the number of possessions in my life to the point where today there are many things that either I owned multiples of in the past or that many people tend to own multiples of that I simply own one of. So I'm excited to dive right into this, but if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button below for more simple and intentional living videos coming at you twice a week. And a huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. We'll talk about them in a bit, but now let's get started with our first thing that I only own one of, and that is a notebook. So here's the notebook. I only own one notebook, and I have shared about this guy before, but it is my calendar slash planner slash just general note-taking and goal writing, and I just do a lot of random stuff on this thing, and it really just kind of meets all of my personal needs. I find that personally, if I have lots of different places to write things down, I inevitably will lose track of those items. And so it's really nice for me just to have everything in one place so that I'm not overcomplicating anything or losing track of different notes that I wanted to have written down but then can't remember where they are. So I have one notebook, and it really just makes things simple and straightforward for me when it comes to note-taking. Okay, item number 2 that I only own one of is a wallet, and even as wallets go, this is a pretty minimal one. I really try to keep kind of a minimum number of cards as possible. Often when it comes to having multiple credit cards or rewards programs or anything like that, they're really more of a temptation to spend more money than they are actually useful to you. So in here I keep my driver's license, AAA card, credit card, debit card, and health insurance, and then I have a library card in here and a little bit of change. But I really like to keep things simple and straightforward, and the beauty of having such a small and compact wallet is that I can really bring this with me wherever I go. I can throw it in my wristlet, in my larger purse, in a backpack, or any other method that I'd need to carry it. So it's just really easy and convenient for me, and personally I cannot be bothered to move my cards from one wallet to another. Especially when it comes to things like this that serve a very practical purpose, I am all about keeping it simple. Alright, the third item that I only own one of, and this one is a bit more of a category, but that is kitchen appliances. I own one slow cooker, one blender, one tea kettle, one French press, and the list goes on. I know a lot of people who will own multiple of these kitchen appliances either because they were given multiple for their wedding or graduation or something like that, or they've bought them thinking that it would be useful to have a spare one on hand. Personally though, I find that these kitchen appliances tend to take up a lot of space, so I'd rather keep the number of them that I have as simple and minimal as possible. Yes, many of these appliances do serve a very practical purpose and I use them almost daily, but I don't necessarily see the need for me to have multiple. For where I'm at right now in life, they would just add clutter, so I'm fine with keeping the number of them that I own to just one. Moving on though, the fourth thing that I only own one of is a reusable water bottle and to-go mug. And I guess I just own one of each, not just one total, because they serve different purposes. So first, this water bottle. I love a good reusable bottle and bring this guy with me pretty much wherever I go. But whenever I'm leaving the house, it's not like I'm going to take multiples with me. I'm really only ever going to be drinking out of one water bottle at a time. And so for me, it makes sense for me to have one water bottle and for Christopher also to have one. But having multiples for each of us doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I can only really drink out of one at a time, and so really that's all I need. And then the exact same thing goes for this to-go mug. I do find it really helpful to have this guy on hand in addition to having a water bottle, because my current water bottle is actually only single insulated, meaning that if I put hot liquids in there, it would burn my hands if I were to touch it. So this guy is double insulated, which means that it's going to not burn my hands if I try putting a hot drink in there, and I take teas with me a lot, especially in the winter. But on top of that, it's also going to keep my drink warm for a long period of time. So if I'm going to church or to a meeting, I can bring this guy with me and know that I will have a hot drink to sip on for the entirety of my trip. And the cool thing about this guy is it can also be used for cold drinks as well. It actually has a little straw compartment in here, so I can slide a reusable straw in to the glass and be able to enjoy an iced coffee or an iced tea during the summer. So it really is a useful item to have on hand and serves a very practical purpose in my life. Let's talk about number 5 next, and that is a bra. I don't know if it's weird to show my bra on screen, but here it is. This is my single underwire bra that I own. I don't actually think it even has an underwire, but it's the only like traditional type of bra that I have. It is a padded strapless bra and fairly comfortable by bra standards. However, I am not a fan of bras. I've shared this before, but I'm far more of a bralettes person when it comes to support in my chest area. I am a big appreciator of comfort, and I find those just far more practical and better for my lifestyle. But that being said, there are definitely times when having a strapless bra can come in handy. So I keep this guy around for such occasions, and it does have some really nice features like good grip, so it's not going to slide, and it is pretty comfortable. But at the end of the day, I would far rather be lounging about in one of my Organic Basics bralettes or something like that than I would be hanging out stuffed into the sky. And I know this is one that not everyone might be able to relate to, and I fully understand that some people do just need more support, but as a small-chested person, a bralette I find to be far more comfortable and enjoyable to wear. And at the end of the day, I don't actually want to wear a push-up bra because I'm not trying to fake anything. I can appreciate my body the way it is, and so I would just rather opt for something that's going to keep me comfortable and supported in the way that I need to be supported throughout the day. All right, and before we continue with this list, I want to share with you guys a little bit about today's sponsor, Skillshare. And Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of amazing classes that are designed to help you learn new skills, explore your creativity, or further existing passions. And personally, I am a huge fan of Skillshare and have taken so many classes on their platform on everything ranging from growing a YouTube channel to watercoloring to interior design. But probably my all-time favorite class that I've taken on Skillshare is the course Simple Productivity: How to Accomplish More with Less. It's taught by McKeown, the author of the book Essentialism, and it literally revolutionized the way that I look at productivity and getting things done. It takes the idea of minimalism and applies it to productivity, so trust me on this, you guys are going to love that one. And one of the coolest things about Skillshare is that it actually costs less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. So if you're interested in checking out Simple Productivity and learning how to do more with less, or you want to explore one of the thousands of other amazing classes on Skillshare, you can do that just by signing up using the link in the description box below. And if you're one of the first 1,000 of my subscribers to sign up using that link in the description box, you can actually get your first 2 months on the platform for free. So definitely be sure to check them out. I know that you guys are going to love Skillshare just as much as I do. But now let's get back to the list. And number 6 is another one of those categories that I only own one of, and that is office supplies. So granted, I do own more than one pen and one pencil, but specifically here I'm referring to things like I own one stapler, I have one ruler, don't know if we have a hole puncher. We might not actually own one, but I know that we don't own more than one. So obviously there are a lot of items that can fall into this list, but as a general rule, I like to keep just one of each type of basic office supplies that we might need. Things like staplers and rulers are items that we own enough to justify keeping one, but not enough to justify keeping multiples of them. And the justification I find that people will often use for items in this category is that, well, I need multiples because I always feel like I'm losing one. But what I found in my experience is that it's actually easier for me to keep track of just one of a given item than trying to remember where multiples are. My brain has an easier time remembering where I last placed my one ruler than the 3 I might have had scattered about the house. Okay, the seventh item that I only own one of is a phone case, and I will be the first to admit that my phone case is not the most beautiful thing on the planet. It used to be really functional for me in that it served as a card holder that I could put my driver's license and credit card into, but a few months ago it finally broke and I have yet to buy a replacement. So it is a purely functional item for me at this point, and I would like to buy a replacement phone case in the future. But even when I do eventually get around to replacing it, which hopefully is sooner rather than later, I won't be buying multiples because I don't really see a phone case as being a fashion statement. To me, it's a very practical item that protects my phone screen, but it doesn't necessarily need to be something that I have multiple options of that I can switch out whenever I want. So one functional replacement for the one broken phone case. It's really all I need. Next on the list, the eighth thing that I only own one of is a Christmas tree. And I've shared this before, but I am a huge fan of Christmas. Honestly, the entire month of December is one of my favorite times of the year, rivaled perhaps only by the fall. So really 2020 only looks up from here for me. But even though I do really enjoy Christmas, I do like to keep it fairly minimal when it comes to my Christmas decorations. Yes, I do own a tree. Yes, I do own a wreath. Yes, I do own a stocking, but I try to keep it so that it's not much more than that. When it comes to Christmas decor, I really try to strike that balance of having enough items to where my place feels festive and cozy and very hygge. I really do love that feeling, but at the same time, I don't want to be overwhelmed by Christmas decorations, and I want setup and tear down to be very straightforward and easy, as well as our decorations not taking up a ton of storage space or causing clutter. Moving on, the ninth thing that I only own one of is a pair of heels. I don't really enjoy walking in high heels, which is why I do no longer own stilettos. I recently decluttered the only pair that I have. But in the past few years, I've discovered that I really can enjoy and be comfortable in a low block heel. So I have one pair of those now that I can wear for any festive occasions where I'm looking to get more dressed up. And the nice thing about this pair of shoes is that I can wear them for dressier occasions. I've worn them to weddings and in weddings, but they're also kind of casual and versatile enough that I can wear them casually as well, which is fantastic. So it's just a very honestly practical pair of heels that I can walk in, that I can stand in long periods of time in and not get blisters. They're comfortable, they can dress up, dress down. That's really what I'm looking for in a pair of heels, and because I don't wear heels that often, I don't see the need in owning more than one pair. But if I am going to wear heels, I definitely want a pair that I'm going to be able to walk in, which these definitely fit the bill on. And finally, number 10 is another category, and that is cleaning supplies. Honestly, I probably could have pieced all of these out and come up with a whole bunch more, 25 things that I only own one of, but for the sake of simplicity, I only own one of each type of cleaning supplies. So for example, I only own one mop, one broom, one vacuum, and again with this one, I can only use one of those items at a time, and so for me, it only makes sense to own one. But on top of that, I know that there are a lot of kind of specialized items that you can get when it comes to these items. For example, you might be able to find a vacuum with a ton of different attachments, or some people will have a little robot vacuum as well as a more detailed vacuum, or they'll have a handheld vacuum as well. And I feel like this has been a huge theme throughout this video, but I like keeping things simple and manageable. I don't want a ton of niche different products for cleaning my home, but I would rather instead have a few generic items that I can use throughout my entire house. I find that having just one of the basic cleaning supplies I need a lot more manageable, and on top of that, it makes the idea of cleaning my home a lot less overwhelming too, because I'm just using a few basic items rather than really overcomplicating what is otherwise a very simple task in cleaning. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and getting a little glimpse into my life of seeing what items I get value from and which I only own one of. If you guys do want to watch another video that is exactly like this, whether you're new around here or just haven't seen it yet, I actually did another video on exactly this topic, so if you want to see, I think it's 14 more items that I only own one of, I will leave that linked up in the description box below, and those are all things that there's, I believe, no overlap between that one and this video. And if you want to, be sure to check out Sarah Teresa's video. She is the one who actually, I believe, started this video topic theme. So I'll leave hers linked below as well if you want to watch that out and just go down that little rabbit trail of things I only own one of videos. Finally, a big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and helping make this channel possible. And remember that if you haven't already, you can sign up today and get your first 2 months on the platform for free. All right, well, that is everything I have for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next one.